Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Heartofindieradio. We have an exclusive interview with you this evening with a young lady who has been so busy, working so hard to build her own brand in the music industry, releasing a whole series of singles. And now, this weekend, her debut album. She is a graduate student. She is a student of songwriting. And she is actually one of the volunteers here at Heart of Indie Radio, and she's always very busy trying to help us in anything that we need done. Most recently, taking over our Spotify account. So when you see that top 10 pop up, that's her. And we just love her to death here. Please join us in welcoming none other than Demi Michelle. Demi, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. That was such a sweet intro. Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do to help so many. It's just incredible.
Of course.
Yeah, you've been on all 4 shows. So now you've been on the Memphis show. You've been on the E&E show, which has become the Nashville show until it got its permanent name. And it does. Its new name is, ready, drum roll?
Drum roll.
You're the first one to hear this publicly.
This is so cool.
So the new name for the Nashville show is Hearts of Nashville.
I love it. Fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Yeah, and it's out of respect and admiration for all of those who pour their hearts into their music and come to Nashville, bring their heart and soul to Nashville to try to make it in the music industry. And we're trying to honor all those folks. So yeah, you've been on the E&E show. You've been on what is now the Hearts of Nashville. You've been on the Memphis show. And now tonight you're on the European show. So you
this
have
is
really
so
made the rounds,
exciting.
haven't you?
Yeah, I definitely have. It's only been a couple months too, so it's kind of crazy, but every single time it's been such a blast, and it's always so different every time I'm on. So thank you for having me back again. This is awesome.
We're honored to have you. And I'm glad you're saying this different every time. I hope it is, because all 4 shows are uniquely different. And this show you're on now, the European show, is our unplugged version for a reason. And sometimes we do the air quotes with the unplugged, because you don't know what you're going to run into here. It could be just anything. But
I know. I love this show, so I'm really excited to be on this one.
So let's talk about this new release for a second. Right on the heels of several singles you released, LA Will Wait For Me, Will I Ever Find Love, and now Dear Diary. In a way, I kind of see a pattern there, but then in a way, I've looked at these 11 tracks, I've listened to all 11 tracks, and it's not all the same thing. So could you tell us what the inspiration was for all this material, and which is your favorite song out of all these songs?
Oh, so first to answer your question about the inspiration, I feel like this album is an album I had to write for myself. Over the past 2 years, I've gone through a lot emotionally, and I feel like songwriting is what I turn to process my thoughts and feelings, and also my insecurities, which is something I definitely dive into in Dear Diary. And honestly, its title, Dear Diary, is perfect because I think of all these songs as musical diary entries because they're so vulnerable and personal to me. And so I think overall, like I said, it dived into thoughts, feelings, and insecurities of mine. And in terms of my favorite song, that's really different because that's really difficult because they're all different and they're all special to me for different reasons. But I feel like as a whole, Will I Ever is my favorite, especially because there's the acoustic version. But specifically for the songs that haven't been heard at all yet, the album cuts, my favorite is Perfectly Imperfect.
Oh, how perfectly imperfect is that? I love it. Now you wrap up this album with your acoustic version, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. So anyone you want to give shout outs to that helped pull this together?
Definitely, yes. Yes, huge shout out to Robert McCutcheon, who produced the entire album. I love my producer to death. He's amazing. And also special shout out to Luke Wood, my guitarist, who played on Find Love and Will I Ever acoustic. Luke, I love you to pieces. You're amazing. So huge thank you to both of them.
You hear that, Luke? You're in pieces now. Oh my goodness. She loves every piece of you. It's cool. So congratulations on getting this album to market. I know that there are hundreds of hours of blood, sweat, and tears and emotion that went into putting it together. It's not easy. And those who have not put an album out yet, you'll figure it out. There's a lot of work, not just in writing the music and rehearsing and getting it recorded, getting it mixed, getting it mastered, but there's a whole lot of other stepping stones and just getting it to market.
Definitely. Yeah. It was definitely a learning curve. I feel like, I loved every step of it, even the difficult times. Even though it's difficult, I just, it's a learning curve. Like I said, you don't know what it's like to release an album until you do it. And now I know things I would do the same next time and things I would do different next time. So just the whole experience has been super eye-opening and a great one.
So how many times do you have a little asterisk in your notepad? Note to self, note to self.
Yeah, literally.
Something
Yeah.
different.
The past like 3 weeks. Demi, don't do this next time. Demi, you need to know this for next time. Don't mess it up next time.
Well, I'm honored to have been there for part of the journey. I know that it was a lot of work. I know how passionate you were. So you also have your own podcast as well, Right on Track. That is such a clever title. I love that. I can't get over how clever that is. I don't know how long it took you to come up with that, but tell us about that briefly.
So the name, how long it took me to come up with it. I had a couple name ideas before that, but then Right on Track just came to me and I was like, that's perfect. But in terms of the podcast itself, I've been wanting to do a songwriting podcast for about a year before I started it. And I was just waiting for the right time, and launching it on my birthday this year was a cool time. So that's why I did that. But in general, the podcast is basically where I invite guests from any part of the music industry, songwriters, artists, producers, radio personalities, pretty much to come onto the show, and we talk about topics related to songwriting and the music business. And it's super special because instead of your typical, interview-based podcast, it's very centered on, deep dives into real genuine conversations and important topics in the industry. And I feel like it's super awesome letting my guests share their stories and perspectives and having those amazing conversations.
That is so awesome. I love the setup. There are a couple episodes that kind of grabbed my attention, and I'm going to let you talk about these just a couple of minutes because I think it is a good example of just how cool some of these episodes are. One was Songwriting and Self-Discovery, which I believe you did with Lou Maclean, and Songwriting and Emotions with Emily Quinn. Can you talk
Amelia Quinn, yep.
Amelia? Okay.
Yeah, so these two are also two of my favorites. The first one, Songwriting and Self-Discovery with Lou Maclean. She's my friend from Scotland, who is a songwriter and artist. And that episode was very fun and it was very different than the others because basically what we did was pick a handful of songs that we love that helped us discover something about ourselves. And we also chose songs of our own that we wrote that we had a journey of self-discovery while writing.
Wow.
And it was really interesting because we actually read lyrics from all the songs and then talked about them afterward. And that was super awesome and super vulnerable, that episode. I love Lou, and it was awesome having her on for that episode. The other one, Songwriting and Emotions with Amelia Quinn. Amelia is an incredible artist from the UK. She's so sweet. And that one is also one of my favorites because songwriting and the music industry in general, it's very emotional. And we talked about, the emotions we feel when we write our songs and, when we're performing, and pretty much, the whole journey of, being so in tune with our emotions, because I feel like as songwriters and artists, we have to be aware and also recognize how things make us feel. And also feel the delights and the sadness and all of those different things. So we talk about everything to do with songwriting and emotions. And that was an incredible one as well. So yeah, those are just two out of many. And every one is so unique in its own way. So I absolutely love doing the podcast.
Well, those are both great examples. And I love the podcast because it's so laid back, but yet at the same time, those topics are worthy of digging into. And I love the fact that you guys take the time to do it, but in a kind of a time capsule sort of way. So that is so cool. Okay, so we have a really cool announcement to make. Drum roll, please.
Uh-oh. Totally unplugged, guys. I don't know what's happening.
Unclick record here. She's trying to get loose. Oh my goodness. So Demi, out of respect and honor for all of your hard work, both as an artist, because you demonstrate a selfless attitude toward the music industry, you demonstrate incredible work ethic. Just when I think the little ever-ready bunny has to be, the batteries have to be dying. Nope, she just got a solar panel back here. You just have incredible work ethic, and you inspire so many other artists to just get out there on that limb and take a chance and chase their dreams. And you encourage them every single day in your own actions. And more than that, like I said, you demonstrate a selfless attitude toward the music industry, toward your fellow artists, toward other human beings who are not even part of the entertainment industry. And that is something that we're always looking for here at Hands of Grace, Ray of Light, Heart of Indie Radio. Because of all those things, we would like to extend an offer to you to become a new signed featured artist here at Hands of Grace.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm gonna. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you so much. That means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I told you. All right, there you go, guys. Eddie did it. He got me to cry on a video. Thank you so much. I've honestly, ever since I discovered you guys, at the beginning of this year, back in January, February, I just have been so touched by all that you guys do, and just everything you do for independent artists and music education, mental health, everything. It just is so meaningful to me. And I just, when I discovered the featured artist program, I had it in my head, I was like, this is really what I want. And I really spent the past, 7-8 months, really working toward this and being as selfless and giving as I can. So thank you so much. I would be honored to be a new Sun featured artist. Thank you.
You just got to get that pen ready, right?
Yep.
Get your ink pen ready. Well, that is so awesome. Thank you for all that you do. It's just incredible.
Thank you.
So how may listeners find you out there online?
So you can find me on my website, DemiSchwartz.com. My music is on there, my blog, my podcast, and also my shop with signed CDs and merch. And you can find me on social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. My handle is @DemiSchwartz.
That is so cool. Did you guys hear what she just said? Sign. She's taking the time to sign these CDs. That is so cool. That's almost unheard of these days. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a crazy busy week to join us here for the show. That is just incredible. And we invite you to come back and visit with us anytime online here, although you are busy with us every single day, working very hard to keep these shows out there in front of folks. And all you listeners, thank you so much for joining in this evening, and keep watching and listening to the Memphis show, and now the brand new show, Hearts of Nashville, which is part of the Heart of Indie Radio family, which kind of ties into the title there, and of course the European show. All right, so we are going to get back to the music right now on the European Show Unplugged. Stay tuned.